All right, so September 11th, 2025, making a solo episode this week. Have some great guests coming. I really do. I feel like the quality of guests was awesome from the beginning, but the caliber and the depth of these recent episodes that I've recorded are really going to be awesome for you guys. But thanks for coming today. I'm having a tough day, man. I'm going to be honest. I'm driving the struggle bus right now, and I just felt like the right thing to do for who I am and the things that were in my head. Uh, to be fully transparent, almost in a self-therapeutic kind of way, was just to have a conversation into the camera for anybody that wants to listen to do so. Um, I'm really upset. Yesterday, the tragic death of Charlie Kirk, a conservative um, icon, was not on my bingo card. It wasn't on anybody's, I don't think. And it spun a series of sequential events for me mentally where I was upset that the initial attack happened, and then there was a moment of hope. Then I was upset when the hope was gone and the assassination attempt proved to be successful, which is weird to say those words. And then just trying to discover what other people were feeling, because I don't really have a reason to be emotionally charged other than being a human. Um, because I don't get emotionally involved in politics anymore. It's just not healthy for me and my family and my business. But I'm not naive. I just don't get emotionally charged. But then yesterday happened. And one of the reasons that mentally I'm having such a challenge right now is that in my journey to discover what other people were thinking, there were some really wonderful things that made me feel better. And some posts, I mean, across social media. But the vitriol and the disgusting hate, the lack of humanity in people's responses or posts, I don't know why it surprised me, because if you would have asked me to write down potential reactions from certain groups, given a certain person passing away, I probably would have written down that, some people unfortunately would celebrate the passing of a prominent person that didn't share their views. But some of the specific hatred towards Charlie Kirk's family and his wife and children, about how they're better off now, I did not expect that, and it just rocked me, because my primary function in life right now as a father and a husband, obviously wrapped into that is my faith and my belief system, which is mine. But to think that people were not acknowledging the humanity of the individual that was unalived, if you will, that's the word that's been using. It's just shocking. It shocked me. And I don't really need to talk about it because I'm sure you guys have seen it, but here's where I'm coming from right now. It's very frustrating for me, and it makes me angry. And part of the reason that, I'm going to be honest with you, I shed a lot of tears over that. And some of the tears yesterday afternoon were put off because I had to coach football with my fellow coaches, and the children needed us. And then this morning, waking up with 9/11 and taking my children to school and having the radio on and hearing recounts, and part of me saying maybe I should turn the radio off, but then my daughter said, "Daddy, what's going on? Why are they putting this on the radio?" And she's 7 and she didn't know. And it's okay that she didn't know, but my 10-year-old knew what the significance of today was, being 9/11. And then we had a conversation about it. But just hearing that just put me in an emotional state where I got really emotional. But here's the thing, it wasn't sadness for me. It was frustration and partial anger, because it's like, what am I going to do about it? Like, it's so tough for me to be who I am and be quiet about the way I really feel about the individual or the circumstances. Because even as I sit here and I was testing my mic and getting my phone on, I'm sitting here already censoring myself. I'm literally in front of my own, I'm in my basement in front of my basement bar on my microphone. I paid for this, my cell phone. And I'm putting it on my social media and I'm almost pre-censoring myself out of fear for putting something on the internet that we know the internet doesn't go away, then I'm going to regret because I have a family to feed and I have customers that need my help. And I have relationships that I've built the last 18 to 24 months that mean so much to me. And I have no idea if these people would feel differently about me depending on the way that I shared my belief systems. Just think about what I just said. For those of you that are watching who know me, I'm a really confident person, but I'm a good person. And that's not a question. And I'm not braggadocious about that. It's a fact. I'm a good person. But there are people that would attack me for my beliefs. And if I were to come on this platform, which I'm not doing in this moment, and talk about my beliefs and lay them out flat, like lines of a scripture, these are facts, I could lose 50% of potential business, which means there's 50% less people I could help my family. 50% of the relationships that I've cultivated and tried to maintain and grow and work with people to help build their business, there's a chance that 50% of those relationships would not do business with me, not because of how I treat the customers or the process or the experience I bring to the table, but because of the way I may have voted or may have thought. Which, by the way, if you ever sat down and talked to me, you might be surprised, how towards the middle I am on a lot of things. But that fear was governing the actual recording of this video today. Like it, I'm laughing because I don't know what else to do because I cried this morning. I cried. I'm a grown ass man and I cried. Now, if you're in my family, you know that I'm a sap. But I don't think there's anything wrong with crying as a man for the right reasons. But I cried this morning because I was frustrated. I didn't know what to do. Like I wanted to break something, and then I wanted to just hug my children and my wife. But I had to get up and I had to do work. And I did a little bit of work, but then I checked in with my partners and let them know that, I got to work some stuff out and that I couldn't focus today. And then I felt kind of like a lesser person. Like, who the hell am I where I can't go to work because an emotional state? But it's a matter of focus. I couldn't be who I need to be for my clients today because of the way that I'm having these issues in my head. And I'm sure a lot of you are feeling like that. And I put a couple posts up, and they were not politically charged. They were just factually based. I wanted to pray for the individual and his family that passed. And already one of the first comments, I put up social media a lot. A lot of it's fun. A lot of it's cute. It's about my family, my business. I have a profile page, the World Wide Web of Lending, which is a marketing platform for a lot of things that I'm planning. This podcast connected to the web is not really connected to my mortgage business per se, although they are intertwined. They're not connected legally. They're separate things. I've had people that have not commented on anything, any of my successes, any of my failures, any of my family life events. I haven't seen this person on social media for 12 to 18 months. And they felt the need to comment with something negative on my post about somebody being killed. Like, oh man, I don't want to go in circles, but I just wanted to kind of just talk in this space. And here's why I'm sharing this. And it's one of the reasons that I felt motivated to record something like this on a podcast episode that even in itself, this could cost me viewership or opportunities. But I got 16, not 2, not 4, and not 50. I got 16 individual DMs, 10 of which are people that are close to me, who told me how scared they are because they don't want to post anything online out of fear of retribution, but they want to put their heart out to their families and their friends and share the way that they feel, but they can't. They were in fear. So I just ask you, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, How is that right for someone to live in that fear? It's not right. Whether you are this or that, Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, guys, we're humans and we're Americans. How can we not celebrate and unite in that concept? Just blows my mind. Today is 9/11. One of the things that I remember so well is that September 12th was an amazing day because the entire country just stopped caring about things that won't matter when you're gone. And we started caring about things that will, such as wanting to protect our children and our families. And that was an amazing day. September 12th, 2001, I remember very well. And that says something because September 11th is where the memories and the pain are connected to. But I remember September 12th. And I don't know if a lot of people do, and that's okay if you don't resonate with me on that. But my point here is today is September 11th, 2025. Yesterday, something major happened. Someone took their beliefs and forced them on someone else to the point where they took their life. There's disagreement there. The only reason that person took Charlie Kirk's life is because they didn't want his voice to keep going. And that just keeps resonating inside my head because I feel like I'm so afraid to let my voice out. And I'm hitting a critical mass mentally where I'm wondering if I should stop being afraid, which is a tough thing for me to say because I'm not a fearful person. And in all honesty, in terms of life, I'm really not afraid of anything because I believe in my faith system. I believe in my family. I trust myself to make good decisions. And I also do what it takes in certain situations that's right. I do what's right, even when it's hard. But I want to say certain things and bring certain things out. But we just had a man get killed because people were tired of hearing what he had to say. And if those things weren't registering somewhere in that killer's psyche, then it wouldn't have caused that big of a response to take his life. What I mean is they were hitting home. The ideas were hitting home. I read something online about how his voice is going to be bigger and all that afterwards. And that it makes me happy to hear. But I just feel like he kept going knowing that it was dangerous because it was the right thing to do. And here's the thing. The thing is not his opinion. That's not what's right. Because what I believe is not gospel. That's what I believe based on my belief systems and the way I was raised. There are people that have great points that disagree with him that deserve credit for that intellectual thought. The thing that he kept going unapologetically towards is to have the conversation. We just need to keep having the conversation. It cannot be put under a rug or silenced. If family members are not speaking because of their politics, they need to sit in a room and just start talking. In my family, we had relationships ended. There was an engagement that was ended about 6 or 7 years ago because of politics. That's just so sad. It's so sad. And if there are business relationships where you have found something that you can relate to, or a business or service that you like their product, and you're considering not using that product or continuing that relationship because your politics differ, just stop for a second and have a conversation. We're better than that as a country. 2026 is 250 years for our country. We're the greatest country in the world, not because we were quiet and we didn't share our opinion. It's because we stood up initially against a monarchy and then against the horrors of what was happening with slavery and civil rights. And then it transitioned to so much more where the Industrial Revolution blew up in our face and we had child labor and women's suffrage. This country has come so far. 1960s was an amazing change for our culture. But somehow we'll regress back to this us versus them mentality. And I just hope that we can come together somehow. So I don't want to rant too far and too long, but I just wanted to get these thoughts down. And I really hope that some of this resonates with you. So I just wanted to come on and kind of talk for a little bit. I don't want to make this any longer because I'm afraid I'll say something that I can't take back. But I just want to say thank you for all the support that I've gotten for just the way that I'm feeling. Thank you to my partners for understanding today was a tough day for me. Thank you to my wife. She checked in and I let her know I was having a tough mental day. But more importantly, thank you to this country for allowing me to be a part of it. And as self-serving or weird as that may sound, I am thankful for the country that I live in. I love our country. I have a lot of visual representations of that love, but even if I didn't, I do. And I'm still wearing patriotic colors because today is 9/11 and it's not about me. It's about the country and the loss that we all felt 24 years ago. But anyway, if you want to have some conversation about it, you can send me a message on this episode. You can reach out to me on a DM. 16 people reached out to me and wanted to have a conversation that they couldn't have online and didn't feel like they had the heart to call me on my cell phone. And I don't think that all these people had my cell phone. And I want to say thank you to all 16 people who reached out because it means a lot. And you inspire me to be your voice. And I'm nobody special. I'm not some kind of celebrity, but I do have a voice and people thank me for sharing it. And then I want to thank you guys for being an inspiration that keeps me sharing. So thank you very much. I appreciate you being with me and staying connected to the web. We do have some fantastic guests coming up, and I'll bring those out. The next one is Joe Conroy from Hartford Retirement Planners, HARP. Awesome company in the downtown heart of Bel Air, and we'll be bringing them out soon. So anyway, love you guys. Appreciate your time. Talk to you soon.